Wayne Brady, Joey Fatone. Get ready for some name dropping.
Wesley Snipes was in my first classes. DJ Khaled, loved them all. Luis Fonsi.
I feel like maybe Ginger and I, maybe our careers will really take off after hanging out with you for another week of Florida's
Wow.
Fourth Estate in the
Possibly
books.
the last. Who knows? Who can say?
Florida's Fourth Estate with hosts Ginger Gadsden and Matt Austin. The show where we bring Florida into focus. Sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Get ready for some name dropping.
No.
All right. Let me give you this. Wayne Brady,
1,
Wesley Taylor,
2,
Joey Fatone.
ooh, 3.
We got some big names, and that's just to name a few of the guest we have
Yeah.
today is what I call a star maker.
You stole my thunder. I was going to introduce her as that.
Okay,
I was like,
well,
what do you want to be called?
And I said, call her star maker.
Okay, her name is Karen Rugerio, and she is a star maker. She
I did ruin
just
it.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't have the same punch because
Yeah.
Matt already said it. But she is an amazing human being. She's a retired educator, which, you know, I love me some teachers.
I know.
And
She's going to cry at least twice.
Oh
during
my
this
gosh,
interview.
because teachers change your lives. And this woman has changed the lives of so many people. And those people Matt just named off, you know them all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Karen, welcome to Florida's Fourth Estate.
I'm so
We're
glad
so
to be
glad
here.
we're
She was
talking
just sitting
about
here
you.
watching for a second and forgot she was about to be on. I
We're
think.
talking about her like she's not here. And so, but we're so glad that you are here. Thank you for being here today. I just want to start off by asking you, what made you choose the career path you did? Because that's a special thing, and not everyone can do it well into the level that you have done it.
I think it kind of chose me. You know, you play around with clubs when you're in school, high school, and I was in all the drama clubs and the Latin club and all those things. But it was serendipitous the way I fell into it. You know, you get in I got my degree. I was in Mexico and I came back to finish my degree, and things just evolved. It was a strange time because Vietnam was still going on and all the guys were trying to get into school and stay in school and have that 2S deferment. And so the colleges were full of educators, young people who wanted to be educators. But I was excited about it. And I couldn't figure out whether I wanted to work with young kids, little kids, elementary school, high school. And as it turned out, high school was my home. And young adolescent, you know, teens, I just had a connection there, and I said I could teach anything as long as the kids were there. You know, give me the content, whatever the content, and I'll go with it. Because the kids learning was just getting them excited about learning something was everything.
So you didn't even know at that point what you wanted to teach. You just knew you loved the kids and you wanted to teach.
There weren't many options for women back in the day. Let's be real. You know, I
1970.
I grew up thinking you could be a secretary, a nurse, a teacher, and a hairdresser.
Wow.
Those were
your choices.
Those were like your choices, you know. And I was the first girl in a very large family to go to college.
How large?
How big? I knew she was going to ask.
Well, my personal family is 2 brothers and a sister. There's 4 of us. But my father had 13 in his family. So the cousins, the Italian cousins abound, you know, all of that. And my mother's family, Southern, West Virginia, you know, a whole other thing going on.
An Italian and a West Virginian get together.
There was
huh?
World War II going on.
Oh, okay.
My mom and dad ended up going to a dance. They used to go around and get the girls and bring them to the USO dance thing. My mom was one of those girls working in town and went to a party, and
Oh,
here I
danced.
am.
Emotions ran high.
Here I am.
The making of a
You know,
love
how many-
story.
It is. It's a great story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my dad was in
fantastic.
the Normandy invasion, the whole thing. You know, it's a story.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a story,
But talking about the career choices, it was 1970. It wasn't like it was 1870. 1970.
I don't know if you've tried to pick the similarities.
The blink of an eye.
I was still wearing I was on that cusp where women could wear pantsuits to teach in. We changed the law, literally,
To wear
right
pants?
there. It had to be a matching pantsuit. It couldn't be
Oh
just
my
pants and
gosh.
a jacket. It had to be a pantsuit.
She's setting you back because I see her wear pantsuits sometimes, and I think, like, you're just setting women back while you're. No, I'm just kidding. No. So Karen, what year did you get to Dr. Phillips High School, and did you start to find, okay, this whole drama theater thing is really where I'm gonna
Well, I
spend my
started
life?
at Jones High School
Okay.
when I first came to Orlando, and that's a great story too. But Jones High School, they were looking for a drama person, and Wesley Snipes was in my first classes at Jones High School.
Was he really?
Yes.
You taught Wesley Snipes
I
too?
Still talk to him on the telephone. all the
Oh
time.
my gosh, Blade.
Yes. Yeah, he flew us out, flew me and my partner out to California when Blade opened. And we were his guests for Blade. And when he got his star on the
Hollywood
Walk
Walk
of
of
Fame.
Fame.
that one, he flew us out for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. He is now getting a lot of accolades, and he's getting his flowers too as being like one of the first superheroes. And
Yes.
they're saying that this whole Marvel universe wouldn't exist had it not been for
He was
Blade.
fighting
He was starting
for
the genre.
because he was fighting for the Black Panther originally, and so I mean that's another story that's great.
That's
But
fantastic.
Blade is very unique. He was doing Blade, and he did a lot of the post production, the editing on that himself, because there was so much conflict on set. So he had his whole, I'm looking at things here. He had a whole editing booth, bay, at his home,
In which he edited
and
the movie.
he did the final edits on
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
I thought I knew a lot about that movie, but I
very
did not know
talented,
that.
very talented. Yeah, but he had to take control of it.
And you met him at Jones.
Yeah, he was a skinny.
Did you see it in him?
Oh yeah, and people ask me that all the time. Well, do you recognize the star? There's something very unique about Joey, Wayne, Wesley.
What's the
You know,
one
you
thing
go-
they have in common, though, that you see?
The commitment. The commitment is incredible. It's a spark. It's a piece of everything they do. They don't look at what's my backup plan. They're focused on moving forward, whatever it takes, and however everything. You can get diverted, but they pull that to them, and move forward with it, whatever it takes. Wayne Brady didn't have a ride. He didn't have a car. He didn't have a license. He depended on everybody to get him anywhere, and he got there. Yeah. We were doing Raisin in the Sun at the then Edith Bush Theater, and I was a stage manager doing that on the side, and he wasn't there. The curtain's going up, and I'm going, Wayne Brady, where are you?
I'm gonna kill you, Wayne Brady.
And I'm trying to make a call, on how to adjust the role. If we're going to go, we've got a full house, and in he comes right as we start, and I.
I can't yell at him right now.
I aged.
I'm gonna yell at him after.
Oh my gosh.
Wayne. And this is before cell phones, before
Right.
before
Sure.
you're able to even communicate with anybody.
So he just rolls in and does a killer performance.
Yeah, every time. He used to do Shakespeare, and I'd go, Wayne, his background is improv, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I knew it then because he could improv Shakespeare. All he needed was the rhythm. Ba-dum, 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 iambic pentameter. All he needed was a rhythm, and he would make words fit. And I'd say, Wayne, I know you're going to do this, but you got to give us the beginning, words and the cue words, the lines, because nobody else knows
They
where
can't
you're
follow
at.
you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And-
I'm curious. So it seems like, I know people might watch this and say, oh, well, she was a teacher who happened to cross paths with these people. But I just don't think it was happenstance. I think a lot of them credit having you in their life for this, because they fly you out, not just Blade, but also Wayne Brady. You still have a very close connection with him. And so they feel like you had this big impact on their life. How did you do that? How did you make it to where you were such an integral part of their lives?
I created Teacher Heaven.
Oh.
Dr. Phillips opened, and I went over, crossing my fingers and saying, okay, we had tried to get a performing arts center at Jones, and we had a lot of community input at that point in time from both sides. And that's another story.
Sounds like a lot of input.
Yeah, a lot of input. And so Dr. Phillips was on the board, the first really big new high school to be built in Orange County. And I just said, okay, I'm going to go interview. So I set up an appointment. I called the office. They were living in a trailer at that point because the school wasn't built yet. And I said, I'd like, this is Karen Rugerio. I'd like to come out and interview for a position, anything, I can do English, Spanish. I've got all these, what do you got? And that secretary said, oh my God, we've been waiting for you to call. And I went, what? I said, oh, okay. And I went out and interviewed. Bill Spoon was the first principal at Dr. Phillips. And he said, we've been waiting for you to come out here. What's up with that? And I had this interview, and he showed me the layout and the new model of the school. And oh man, was that the most beautiful thing in the whole world. Yeah. And I said, okay. And I left, and I went home, and I said, I think I'm hired, and I think I'm the chair of the performing arts department.
They've been waiting for you.
I'm not sure. So my plan was I would put Dr. Phillips' program, performing arts program, on the map in 5 years. I said, 5 years with this, we'll go for it. Within 3 years, we were at the National Thespian Festival with Biloxi Blues and Never Looked Back. So I went to the county and I said, we need to be in a magnet program. And I had great parental support. And we got the first real magnet in Orange County, the theater magnet, a visual and performing arts magnet. So I had to pull everybody together, dance, drama, television,
That's a good one.
band, chorus, It was a lot of chefs in that kitchen.
Sounds like a lot of work. Yeah.
The thing that strikes me is whenever a parent hears their kid is a theater kid and they want to be an actor and they want to go to Hollywood, they would rather them take any other avenue except that one.
Heard that. Well, I built the magnet program, so I had the kids for 4 years, which is just, with theater kids especially, is just a dream. So they had to audition, and then I had them. Once I got them, we could grow that talent. And the idea is that passion is one. The talent you can polish, but the passion very often is where that talent is in there. I have actors who became techs. I have techs who became actors. They came into the program. Something about it they just loved. They were able to find a way to express themselves. I mean, write down that list. They were kids who were a little quirky in all the other classes. All the teachers loved them because they would always read in class and read with emotion, And so,
They were
would
performing.
you read that, passage, where the teacher goes up and down the line, you read that paragraph there, and then the theater kid would, ta-da, it became something. And having them for 4 years with a program that built on each year. I had a team that was incredible in English, in psychology, in math was the only area we could never harness that teacher to be, and my kids needed it.
Yeah.
But I pulled over from the English department, you know, so that we created a program that dovetailed the literature over here, the drama over here, and we built a scheduling program that brought those kids in and out, in and out, and in. So I'm doing the Crucible, and they're learning the literature of the Crucible over here. So all
So
of
it
those
all worked
pieces
together.
All those pieces
Wow,
come together.
that is a fantastic idea, and that's very rare, I would
yeah.
imagine.
And I had it, you know, one at a time. We picked, you know, ooh, I like that. I like that. We would take fall trips where we would go from Orlando. We would leave like 11 o'clock at night, go up to, on a bus with my juniors and seniors, on a bus up to Georgia. We'd get to the Georgia Shakespeare Festival. We'd watch a show at 9 o'clock in the morning, so we drove all night. We'd stop at some place and get a, you know, biscuit sandwich, you know, and then we'd be at Oglethorpe, watch Shakespeare, get back in the bus, go to North Carolina School of the Arts. They'd do workshops. We'd go all the way up to Boston.
Wow.
And then we'd get a day in New York, and they'd see shows, because many of the kids had never been out of Florida. Many of the kids had never seen a real museum. So it was, you know, when you take a child, you know, it takes a village. I believe it, you know, everything you can expose a kid to, you know, and when they're passionate about something, their passion just is a sponge. You know, they just soak it
they
up.
just
Give me something else. Give me something else. Give me
Eat,
something
sleep,
else.
and breathe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you discover, it's like discovering a new planet. You didn't know that planet was there, and it's like, what's on that planet? Does it have water? Does it have life? What's out there?
I never taught down to them either. You always teach up, bring them up.
Yeah.
So we did American classics. We did all of Arthur Miller. He's my man.
Yeah.
And classics, the American classics. And then by the junior year, they were doing research papers, which are no longer allowed to be taught in school. Research papers. Can you believe it? And I would assign them their author, so that they had to do heavy research. And again, some of this is before Google. They
Right.
couldn't.
They had to go to
Google.
the library,
They
the
had
card
to.
catalog.
They did.
Yeah.
You had to know the Dewey Decimal System.
Yes. You know, and it's so much now. You know, everything is on a device now. You know, and their heads
Yeah.
are down. My last improv class is trying to get them to look at each other. You know, I said, you're going to have a conversation. They went up on stage. 2 girls went up on stage. And they turned away from each other, and they went. And it took me a minute to realize they were going to talk to each other on their phones.
Oh my goodness.
That was their conversation.
Yeah.
You know, not having a conversation. Here.
Oh my gosh.
There's danger of brewing.
Yeah, it is. It is worrying
Yeah.
for our society. So I'm curious, as we talk about the stories of the different characters you've had, some of them, most of them, became big after they left and had to build a career and go to Hollywood. Joey Fatone, though, he was kind of a different story. Did you?
It's a funny story.
So tell me that story, because all that probably happened. Did it happen while he was a student with you, or just right after?
Just right after that In Sync was crazy time, you know, because what's his name?
What,
Was it
Timberlake?
Lou? No.
No.
Not
Oh.
the, was you talking about the manager?
Yeah.
Lou Pearlman.
Oh,
Lou Pearlman.
yes.
Yeah.
I kind of tried to
Block
it out.
that out.
yeah.
Yeah.
As
Lou
do a lot of
Pearlman.
people.
I mean,
but-
you know, he was out there, and had hooked into something. He knew these boy bands, and he had the one success, and then he was right hot in Orlando, and crazy, you know, and we had. Joey was a member of the big guys at Dr. Phillips.
What is that?
Four guys singing. Since they were put together by the band director, Keith Galasso, great, saw these 4 talented guys, a bass, a tenor, baritone. What am I missing? second tenor, first and second tenor.
But they were called the
baritone.
big guys.
And they were called the big guys for want of, hey, we're in high school. We're, they're the big guys.
big guys on campus. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and it worked. We all knew the big guys. And they would do harmonies. They would do these fabulous harmonies, everything a cappella. They were wonderful. We loved them all. Luis Fonsi
Oh, yeah.
was part of that group.
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, DJ Khaled. We everything.
Look at you name dropping again.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and his brother Ala Khaled was part of my,
Okay, so you know
Theater
DJ
program.
Khaled as well.
yeah, well, he was, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to
See,
confirm.
that's one that doesn't even make the list.
Dr. Phillips, yeah.
Now it does.
He was an independent. DJ was at 15. He was his own man.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
doing something none of us were aware of where he
so
was at
he
that
already
point.
knew.
So when you started seeing Fatone come up in the rank,
So
how did that go?
Lou Pearlman was looking for another boy band, to put together another boy band, and he'd heard about the big guys. He offered to take the 4 guys. Well, Joel and Fonzie had already been accepted at FSU and in the music program, and that's an incredible music program. Joey was not likely to be going to college. He was in Beetlejuice. He was at Universal. He was over there, and Eric got another gig too, but he got accepted at UCF, and he was torn about which way to go. But Joey went, okay, all
do
right,
it.
this sounds.
I don't have anything else going on anyway.
Yeah, really, and well, you can imagine the conversations they all had. But Joey went, and Lou took him to Europe first. All the rehearsals and put the team together. We had the Disney Kids at Dr. Phillips. We opened in '87, and Disney was just, everything here was just exploding, right? So we had the Disney Kids. Originally we had Britney Spears. We had them all enrolled at Dr. Phillips High School. All the kids were enrolled at Dr. Phillips. And then it was like, oh, maybe this won't work because we need them on set all the time. And so we can't send them to school. We need to do something else. And so they took them out and did it on location education.
Oh my!
But
so
did
originally
they
all
go
the-
for?
just-
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
was just gonna say, we're
Was
asking the
Britney
same
Spears
question.
going to Dr. Phillips for a little bit?
She
or
was enrolled at Dr. Phillips.
for a moment, and then
Okay,
after
then-
going to some classes,
Yes.
they pulled her
Oh,
out.
that is crazy.
I had
to me.
no idea
I
that-
didn't either.
I'm telling you, we could be here a long time.
Oh my gosh, that is. It's so
Just those
fascinating.
early days. I mean, the school
Yeah.
was a phenomenon. We had people internationally, not just nationally, and then national visitors were incredible. International. The campus was something totally new, and now everything's going back to the box, right? And that campus was the largest campus in the state of Florida.
How do you
Physical
feel about
campus.
the state of education now, as you see things kind of going back to, like you say, the box?
I want to say, gee, I'm glad I am not in the classroom, but I can never say those words. I feel strongly about being in the classroom with kids. That's where the world is, working with the young people. Education sucks. It's terrible what's going on, and people making decisions and rarely asking the people on the front lines what's best. What do we need? What do we need to give you? Bill Spoon was always about, what do you need to do your best work? And so I really came into my own with that attitude, of somebody saying, what do you need? And then stepping out of the way, giving me that supplies and space, and then stepping out of the way to let me do my best stuff. And that doesn't happen anywhere. Everybody's looking and dissecting everything you're doing and telling you the list of what you have to do that doesn't have anything to do with educating those kids is incredible.
It's taken all the joy right out of what you
People
would
are
normally do.
exhausted. Teachers are exhausted trying to do all of this, and everything has to be on the computer. I mean, the fact that kids don't have books, everything's on their laptop, everything, every test. How do I do playwriting on a computer? How do we talk about, I'm still a yellow pad person. I got to have my yellow pad.
Look.
Exactly.
ran into another one.
I got to have it. I did journal writing. My kids had to turn in a composition book every grading period, filled. It's kinesthetic. The brain, transliteration onto the page.
Yep.
This is not transliteration. This does not do the same thing to the brain that writing does.
Absolutely.
And our kids don't even know how to write. I go in, I write something on the board, they can't read
it.
cursive.
They need to see Times New Roman, right? Yeah.
I mean, is that crazy?
I mean, we had to learn it when I was in school, and
Well,
they
as a
don't-
teacher, not anymore, but you had to take a writing test. And you had to write on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
penmanship
a
meant something.
Not a whiteboard. A chalkboard.
Chalkboard.
So you retired. Now,
I did.
Now you're just doing what you love, which you started as a 501c3
Yeah.
to where you have a big production that is coming up. Give us the dates for that and tell us what people can see.
We're doing the Diary of Anne Frank. I was trying to find a way to be involved and make a difference and voter registration, go out and make phone calls and stuff. And I finally went, let me do something I know, make a difference that way. And so a good friend, I had taken her children through my acting studio, and Jennifer Jacobson and I are the co-founders of the Bridge Theater Company. The mission statement is to create productions that deal with social issues for young audiences and handling anti-Semitism, bullying, bigotry, LGBTQ. What do kids need to hear and think about? There's so much, and people are afraid to talk to them.
Yeah.
And so we created this theater company. The first production is The Diary of Anne Frank, the new one-act version adapted by Wendy Kesselman. We're doing it at Dr. Phillips High School, and it's 5 matinee performances. We're bringing in almost 3,000 OCPS and homeschool students. And Orange County is providing the busing for OCPS students. We have 2 public performances on November 3rd and 4th in the evening. And I'm hoping that one of the things about the production is to incorporate projections so that the children see the actual authentic pictures from the period, from the time, that this isn't just, a nice story about a nice girl and bad things happen to her. This is a bigger picture, and trying to create that bigger picture of the anti-Semitism, the strategic process. And it answers, the play answers the mandate for Holocaust education in the state of Florida. So teachers are able to go, okay, we're addressing this now, and providing we're working with the Holocaust Resource Center, Memorial and Resource Center, and the Rosen JCC. It's very exciting. We had Rabbi Crespi, Melissa Crespi, come to our rehearsal last week, and she walked us through all the protocols, with the prayer shawl and proper pronunciation of the prayers and everything. It's an education for the cast as well, to step into these moments and be able to present that. So we're very excited about being able to launch this first production with a real purpose. It was long before October 7th happened when we started putting this all together. And so it's taken over a year, almost 2 years, to get this on its feet. And I hope that, there are children in that audience who are going to be educated and made aware of things that they might otherwise have just, okay. But I've seen what a live production can be. And there are going to be children in that audience who have never been in a formal theatrical experience. They go to a concert.
It's life-changing. It's life-changing. It really is. I always tell people I'm a theater kid, but I did it because it was recommended because I couldn't even look you in the eyes at one point in my life, right? I was very shy, a stutterer, and it changed my life.
Wayne Brady, you and Wayne Brady. He's a stutterer.
He was a stutterer too?
Oh, yeah.
And if my guidance counselor had not told me, this is what you need to do if you want to get through life as a regular person.
How incredible.
Listen, I can't even.
You wouldn't have this job.
No, absolutely not. And I tell people, I'm like, oh, I'm shy, I'm an introvert. They're like, there's no way. And I was like, way, because that's who I am. But had it not been for my theater classes, I don't know what would have happened to me, because my parents certainly didn't know that, oh, Ginger needs to take theater courses, because I'm from a family of 15 kids.
There you are.
So do you think
didn't have a chance to talk.
No, exactly.
But
Correct.
let me in
No,
here a
seriously.
minute.
Oh my gosh, it brings
I
tears to
gotcha.
my eyes when I think about it. And just seeing, in elementary school, we were taken to see a performance. I'm a Title I kid. We were taken to see the Nutcracker. I'd never seen a live performance in my life before. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that I always wanted to be a part or see that again and again and again. It was life-changing. So even for this production of Anne Frank, because I was calling her Anne. Thank you for the correct pronunciation. No, didn't you call
I've
her
always
Anne?
called her Anne,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. So thank you for that education. So if it had not been for that, so I
hear you.
always think the teachers, the theater teachers, you guys are doing the Lord's work, honestly, and it is incredible.
We tick off the names, Joey, Wesley, boom, 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 Michael, James, Scott, that's easy to tick off. All those other children, those are the ones. When I get an email back or a text, or somebody says, I just saw, I got a text last night. It said, I won the trivia contest because of KJ Rugerio, because I could answer this question, and it was a quote from Macbeth. This isn't a theater. I may have to turn around 3 times and spit and curse. I just said the word, the Scottish play. Scottish play. But you'll get these messages. My daughter just did this, and I thought about you because, and those are moments that just say, say my name, you until the last time your name is said, you live.
You live on, yes. Well, I think you'll be living on for a very long time.
Oh my gosh.
And it was nice to say your name today. I feel like maybe Ginger and maybe our careers will really take off after hanging out with you for a little bit.
From your lips.
God beers. There we go.
Coaching we could use. Karen Rugerio,